Hey, social media, this is Tiffany Martinez. Uh, I know you can't see my face, but it doesn't matter. Um, Once again, I'm up having a really bad night. A really bad night. I was just in my thoughts. And I was just thinking, you know, thinking about my husband. I'm thinking about this entire situation, and I'm thinking about everything I've ever gone through. And, I know my mother's probably going to see this and she's going to flip out like, Tiffany, you should really stop posting things on social media because they don't love you. She actually told me that, you know, a couple days ago. And I explained to her that I already know these things. I already know these things, mother. I already know these things. But I was just thinking, I'm sitting here on my bed that nothing that I've ever went through has ever been like traumatic enough in anyone's eyes that I'm worthy enough for a second glance. Like nothing has ever been traumatic enough or, like I said, worthy enough for anyone's help or a second look or just to say, wow, that girl needs help. I'm not talking about therapy because look, my husband, he died. This is a different situation. I'm not one to get on social media or anywhere and cry ever. In the almost 21 years of being married to my husband, like there was literally no tears because my husband literally made me happy every single day because he pulled me out of a very dark spot, which was a previous marriage that wasn't good. But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm surrounded by people that's supposed to be, I'm not even going to use the word spiritual, but they're supposed to be church people. And I've been sharing this GoFundMe link, which I did not even want to create. Because, that's what my husband didn't want me to ever have to do, regardless if it was for me or, for him, whoever, went first in life. He never wanted that. I didn't want that. And when this first happened, my family on my mother's side, they basically said that, they were going to help me because my in-laws didn't help me. They basically ghosted me. So, and my husband was supposed to come home. He was supposed to come home. He wasn't supposed to expire. So, and I'm thinking, whenever I ever asked anybody for anything that I did not need, like literally, I didn't ask my family for literally shit for over almost, I would say about 11 years when I first moved to California. It wasn't until I got really sick, and I was in the hospital, and I needed help because I couldn't pay for the medication. Like whenever I ever asked anybody for anything that I didn't need, and I just remember one time I called my father, and I asked him to help me pay for a medication that I couldn't afford to pay for. And now I'm sitting here, without my husband. And I'm surrounded by people that won't even share a link. I'm not even asking for your money, I'm asking for you to share a link publicly for somebody that could be in a better financial position than you. And it's been November, December. It's gonna be almost two months, and I just don't get that part. And there's people that have this, this chip on their shoulder, like, basically saying, well, fuck her because she needs to be stronger. It's like, again, somebody literally died here. Somebody that meant everything to me. You don't know the health problems that I have. It's not just the pain. It's not just that. Okay? You don't know what I go through. Okay? You don't know. And I shouldn't have to tell you what I go through in order for you to be like, oh damn, if I would have known, I would have shared your link. But I shouldn't have to disclose everything in my life to you. I've already told you how many surgeries I've had to have because of the endometriosis, because of the adenomyosis, but nothing ever seems to come across to you. Nothing ever commutes in your brain as, damn, let me share this for her. I'm not gonna help her, like, financially, because fuck her, because I have these goals too, and I have a family, but I can at least share this for her. But instead, I'm not gonna do that, But when she flatlines, I'm gonna ask around, what happened? And then maybe I'll say, I'll have a conscience then. This is just mind-boggling to me. It's very mind-boggling. Like I said, my husband and I, we would have been together for 21 years this year, and we never asked anybody for anything. Like I said, with that one exception, when I had to go to the hospital. This is before I had insurance for myself, and I needed that medication, and I asked my father to pay for it, and he helped me pay for it. But other than that, I didn't ask for nobody for shit. And now I'm looking at people, I'm loving enough to admit it. I'm not going to just sit there and be like, no one's that busy. No one is that busy. Because if your life is that consumed that you can't share a link, but you got time for games, you got time for memes, you got time for everything else, but you don't have time for humanity, then something's wrong with you. You got time for everything else. You got time to keep the spotlight on you. Then I guess you can't change who you are. But my goodness, this is no different than walking past a person on the street that you clearly see they're holding a sign that says hungry and thirsty, and you can clearly, they're really hungry and thirsty. I'm not talking about the ones that ask for money to buy weed or drugs and liquor. I'm talking about the ones that if you offered them a sandwich, they would actually eat it. You gave them something to drink, and they would drink it. Those are the people. But you walk out of your restaurant or the restaurant and you had lunch and, you had leftovers, or you bought an extra meal, and you be like, well, or you posted on social media, I'm so full, it was so good, and, this is going to be tomorrow's lunch. But you drive right past a sign or a person holding a sign, and you say, that's so sad. You know what? I'm going to pray for them. But the answer will be sitting right there in your lap. So again, don't pray for me. Share the link or exit from my life. I don't need emotional vampires that sit here, feeding off of my pain. I don't need that. And I see you. And I know the people that are for me. And I know the ones that are not for me. No, I'm not a depressed person. I wasn't defined as what they were called depressed. I was just fine. Even with all the levels of pain that I go through on a daily basis, I was just fine until November 30th, 2021. I was just fine.